Good morning, students. So, in the previous class, we have referred to the lesson The VOTER by Chinua Achebe, and we have seen the information about the author and the introductory part, that is pre-reading activity, everything, and the character introduced by Achebe here, Rufus Okeke, where he was called as Roof afterwards. Then we have seen how this young boy, a man, Roof, who has transferred from Port Harcourt after 2 years of work. His work in that particular city as an apprentice to the bicycle repairers, apprentice bicycle repairer in this particular city here. Then after that, so he was caught by an idea or a thought that when he thought that his requirement to his village is very much necessary, because he knew that he knows very well that his village people were uneducated, unaware of the recent developments, in the way of life and everything in such things as that. So he came to know that he has to teach his people, educate his people towards the development, so that taking place as of that day are concerned here. So he thought that his service to his village is needed, and he decided that if at all I have to give service to the people or to the place A, so that is my village, that is my people village. So this is what he decided, and he returned to his village here. See, everyone knew how he had spent 2 years as a bicycle repairer's apprentice in Port Harcourt, and had given up his own free will, a bright future, to return to his people and guide them in these difficult times. And that is the time where the people were very much in this difficulty. So because they were under the rule of these Europeanization, Europeans as such, and they were suffering from the food and other domestic purposes as such. So that is why he thought, and he immediately rushed towards his village, village, and he gave up his will of his bright future in Harcourt, in the city. Then he returned to his home. Then see here, not that Umofia needed a lot of guidance. The village already belonged en masse to the People's Alliance Party here, and its almost illustrious son, Chief the Honorable Marcus Ibe, was Minister of Culture in the outgoing government, within bracket, which was pretty certain to be the incoming one as well. Close the bracket. Nobody doubted that the Honorable Minister would be elected in his constituency. Opposition to him was like a proverbial fly trying to move a dunghill. It would have been ridiculous enough without coming as it did now from a complete unknown entity. So, my dear students, what happens after that? The time or the period when Roof decided to return to his village, after 2 years of his work stay, or 2 years stay in Port Harcourt. Harcourt returned to his village. His village where his village, and at that time it was already the elections have ended up there, and it is the first political administration that was laid in that village, okay, that is enmassed to the People's Alliance Party. See, PAP in short they call, and People's Alliance Party. This was a party in the rule at that time here. Okay, so look at this one. What people's enmassed to the People's Alliance Party and its most illustrious son, the chief, the Marcus Ebe. So who was ruling there then? See how the leader of PAP was Marcus Ebe. And what did he call Chibe? Illustrious son, he says. Illustrious son, he says. Who? So it is Marcus Ebe. Belongs to the same village. Yes, Marcus Ebe. You can pronounce it anyway, but according to the spelling, it's better. Marcus Ebe from the same village called Umofia. Remember this name of the village here. It is the village of our hero or the central character of the lesson or the story here, Ruth. Okay? Sorry, the spelling is OU, yes. Okay, and the people of this Umofia needed a lot of guidance. From whom? From whom? The people who know better, the people who are educated, the people who are aware of what is happening around them. So the people who are literate, so they wanted the guidance, teaching, training from such kind of people here. So it was known very well to Rufia. So that's why he has taken a decision of vacating or coming or return to his village from Port Harcourt here. This is a place, isn't it? Port Harcourt, the place. Of course, he had a better future in that city, as he has already got a job to do there. And I think he might have became a very happy and successful in Port Harcourt, but he never wanted himself, okay, he never selfish there, so he wanted to educate, he wanted to guide the people because they were suffering in so many areas as thinking that, so he came back to his village, and at the time, so the People's Alliance Party has established its prominent place in the village, that is by People's Alliance Party, and whose leader who contested the elections, MLA elections, and it is Marcus Ebe, the hard worker or the illustrious son of Umofia, had won the elections and he became the Minister for Culture there. And the opponent to this party, that is PAP or Marcus Ebe, was just like a proverbial fly, means he never want to or he is not a right candidate to compete with this man, since he was not belongs to Umofia and an outsider, but he is an hard-working person. He got through the elections and became a minister over there. So this is what and the opponent was a non-entity to Umofia here. He was not belong to people, a village called Umofia here. So now, dear students, remember for 1 mark, so you have many important things here for 1 mark, especially it confuses us when we attempt 1 mark question on this chapter here. See, for example, okay, there are so many things in the lesson story you have to remember. Okay, now it is clear. Okay, now it's clear. So up to the first stanza of the lesson, so we have completed and we have seen how actually started. It's a story, the author here. Then, so dear students, concentrate on the incidents that come from the beginning itself. Okay, because see, we have the author, the title, and you have to think of the author, and the important is democracy. Think about the role of democracy. So what is the requirement for this democracy, and which is a stepping stone or a pillar for a democracy? Which one? The voting system. Okay. Then, okay, these were the developments took place in the beginning of the story here, so that we have discovered in the first paragraph of the lesson or the story here. Then coming to the second stanza, as was to be expected, Roof was in the service of the Honorable Minister for the coming elections. Okay. So since the situation was like that, when he returned to his village, so when there was a government of Marcus Abbey, the Alliance parties ruled there, and meanwhile he joined the party there and he started working with the Honorable Minister for the coming elections there. He had become a real expert in election campaigning at all levels, that is, village, local government or national. So when he joined with the minister, that is Marcus Abbey, so he was very much well versed in conducting or taking leadership in campaigning as such. That he became a real expert in election campaigning at all levels. Election campaigning at all levels, that is, election campaigning in all levels. All levels means village level elections. So it could campaign village level and local. Okay, local government. Government elections, okay, then a national and national level election. So he was good. Who was good at election campaignings, all level campaigning in all levels, like village, local government and national level as such. So you should remember here that the roof is government and national levels. So my dear students, he is well versed, expertise in election campaign, in conducting, in taking leadership in election campaignings whether it is a village level election or a local government elections or maybe national elections. So he can easily conduct campaignings there. Okay, so that is the what expertise that we see in Roof here. He could tell the mood and temper of the electorate at any given time. He could tell the mood and temper of the electorate at any given time. For instance, he had warned the minister months ago about the radical change that had come into the thinking of mafia since the last national elections. Yes, he was very much aware. He was very much good in common sense and understanding the attitudes of the people there. So he can make out or he could tell the mood of the electorate at any given time. Yes, he can tell the results, he can guess it. So what is going to happen in the elections and what is the attitude of the people in the village as such. So that is why some time ago, so he reminded Marcus Abbey that people are changing, people are thinking differently. So there is a radical change in the mind of the people. Be careful. If they once slip away from us, so you can't grab or bring them again to our party as such. So secretly these things have been discussed with Marcus Abbey here. So such an intelligent or what a person active, okay, what guy Mr. Roof was. So it is Roof here. Then, so people like this are really going to useful for the leaders like Marcus Abbey here. Okay, then coming to the next stanza here. The villagers had had 5 years in which to see how quickly and plentifully politics brought well chieftaincy titles, doctorate degrees and other honors of which, like the last, has still to be explained satisfactorily to them, for in their naivety they still expected a doctor to be able to heal the sick. See, complex, big sentence here. So now, the villagers had 5 years in which to see quickly and plentifully politics. So now, as students, you could think about the style of language that Achibe uses here. Means here the language is quite complex here. The sentences are complex sentences here. But nowhere you can feel like you are not at all getting what he is telling or writing in these sentences as such. But dear students, see, the people have already experienced the 5-year rule of Marcus Abbey here. And they know each and everything about the government of People's Alliance Party and the contribution or the hard work or the service of their leader Marcus Abbey, who belongs to them their village only here. And this 5-year politics has brought many things to Marcus Abbey. So what are the things then? Okay, what are the things that it brought to Marcus Abbey then? So there were so many awards given to Marcus Abbey, thinking or because he is a minister of culture, because he is a winning candidate of People's Alliance Party. So then Not only that, see, when he entered and spent within this short period or span of 5-year political leadership or role, he brought wealth. He got so much of wealth, chieftaincy titles, doctorate degrees. Then and other honors, some of which like that lost, are still to be explained satisfactorily to them. So money, property, everything was built up, grown, improved a lot in this 5-year ministership as such. He got so many chieftaincy titles, like we say Badavara Bandhu. Chieftaincy titles means chief. Solillada Saradara, we say in our language. Mandina Maga, we say. All these are chieftaincy titles. So in the same way, Marcus Ibe also got so many such titles here from the people. So people used to get. And even if you take, for example, our conditions today, it is really very bad to say or have such kind of practices in a country like India. If any candidate who becomes victorious in any elections, MLA, MP or minister, any political leader as such, leave the people outside. But the universities, they give doctorates to such political leaders. But a student who has started his journey to acquire this qualification from his childhood, what is the difference, value of that hard-working guy or a student to achieve doctorate? So minimum he'll take 5 to 6 years to complete his doctorate, PhD. But whereas a politician who is uneducated, illiterate, can get a PhD in a country like India if he win in MLA elections and become a minister by any means. It may be a corruption, bribing, whatever, commitment, dealing, whatever you say, influence, recommendations, whatever, or by any means like rowdyism, what we say, that one. University will call him and give him the doctorate degree within 1 year after his ministership. Why? Because he has to serve and do the work of that particular university after 4 years. They never give after his 5-year plan. So they will give when he becomes. The first year of his rule, he was great. So, what is the difference between student and politician in getting the PhD then? Yes. He says the system is right as of India is considered. So, my dear students, it's you who have to change these practices here. A person who has nothing to do with education, awareness, service, or patriotism, anything like that, will be given titles and awards like that, doctorate or Padma Bhushan or Padma Vibhushan or such things. So we should think, we should record the service of the man. It should be known to the nation, state as such. Then such things should be given. It should reach the people who work hard. It will reach the people who work for the sake of the downtrodden poor and for the sake of state or nation, who try to improve the condition of the state or country socially, economically, religiously as such. If a person becomes a doctor or a politician or an MLA, and you calling and giving them the titles and awards like this, what is this? You are making the roots of, in the name of that, you are making the roots of corruption, bribing still stronger. Isn't it? So, it is better you think about these things, how, really inhuman, so invaluable such things are really happening in front of us. Even today we see such development things happening around us here. And whereas so many people, students, strived a lot to get PhDs. So many people, they have not gone, even though they spent 6, 7, 8 years, as I have seen in the university, they have not got the PhD, still 8 years of work. Imagine. But if you have money today, yes, my dear students, you can win the MLA elections easily. If you have 1 or 2 crores today, you can win the MLA election and become a minister if you have still money. If you give them suitcases or briefcases, they will really make you whatever you want. So still it is happening. Still it is happening, my dear students. Whatever the government be, in state or central, still these are happening in our country. Which is a very bad development that we have. Still India is suffering like anything to come out of such practices. It is getting stronger and stronger in these days. And people say there is we removed transparency. Nothing. To challenge this, you can survey, you can study. When the government notify for any job, you follow that dates, and you follow the departments, how the things are happening. So you follow the offices where these things are, preparing, things are going on for the job, applications, so printing, then these things. And departments, so concerned officials, so politicians, so how they work. And people, how they started visiting the place. It is very simple. You can observe it secretly if you spend 3-4 days there in such offices. How the things were developing, how they were. Really, it's very bad. It's very bad. Even today, those things are happening, my dear students. So, all such titles, doctorate degrees, and he was enjoyed and bestowed with so many other comforts in his life, in his, 5 year as a politician or a minister for culture here. Then, satisfactory to them, for in their naivety they still expected a doctor to be able to heal the sick. Anyhow, these honors and benefits come so rapidly to the man to whom they had given their oaths free of charge 5 years ago, that they were now ready to try it a different way. Yes, this is a radical change that Roof has observed in the people of Umuofia there. So that is why he gave a warning informed well in advance to his master Marcus Abe that he he has to be careful in dealing with the people, speaking with the people, yes, and he should not ever careless about the people here, because people's opinion has changed now, and they wanted a new person to be ruled. They wanted to bring up a new party because they wanted to see the changes that may take place in changing their leader year after or after this 5 years as such. So these were the things that were happening here. Yes, what were happening there? And since it is the first time, Marcus Abe had never been spent or never spent much money in these elections. Since it is the first elections to the people of Umofia, and he belongs to their own village, so he is a son of a village, so they never expected any kind of bribe or money from Marcus Abe. But this time, after 5 years, when they saw Marcus Abe gaining more wealth and property, money, as doctorate degrees, other titles, as when he had a palatial mansion and other vehicles, expensive cars, as so when people observed all these developments in the life of Marcus Abe, so now in this second elections, so they wanted to fulfill their demands here. They wanted to try their lucks in going for another other candidate apart from Marcus Abe here. So that was the change which took place in the villages of a people of Umofia. Then their point was that only the other day Marcus Abe was a not too successful mission school teacher. Okay, then now we'll go back to the author is providing us the initial information about the leader of People's Alliance Party, that is Marcus Abe here. So what was he earlier in his life before he became a minister here? See, their point was that only the other day Marcus Abe was a not too successful mission school leader. So previously he was not such a man who can well versed or become a very successful mission school teacher. Then politics had come to their village and he had wisely joined up. So in the meanwhile, at the same time, so the politics entered his village for the first time, so that is in Umofia, and he has taken a right step in involving or participating in this political or elections by participating in it. Then he wisely joined up, some said, just in time to avoid imminent dismissal arising from a female teacher's complaint. Today he was Chief the Honorable, he had 2 long cars and had just built himself the biggest house anyone had seen in these parts. And these are the developments that we see after his victory in the first elections in Umofia. But so as a school teacher, mission school teacher, he never became successful here. And people used to talk about his thing is, he just entered the politics in order to avoid the dismissal arising from a female teacher's complaint in mission school. So I think he has indulged in something, in a bad thing there, and he was about to complain, the girl was about to complain, and if she complained, then he will be under punishment there. So thinking that if he enter into politics, so nobody can do anything to him. So it is the right time for him to join or enter into the election. So he entered. So that was the thing that some people used to talk about this man here. But today he was the chief, the honorable. He had 2 long cars and had just built himself a biggest house anyone had seen in these parts. So these are the things he has earned in his political rule, profession, leadership as such. Then, but let it be said that none of these successes had gone to Marcus' head here. As well they might. He remained devoted to his people. But even then, see, Marcus, he never behaved in a very strange manner here. Though he got money, wealth, property as such, okay, whatever he may had from politics, he never ever behaved too much or something superior in front of his people here. So he was a common man. He had the same type of ruling and attitude towards his people here. So he never changed his any attitude on the people as he had in the before here. So he remained devoted to his people. Whenever he could, he left the good things of the capital and returned to his village, which had neither running water nor electricity, although he had lately installed a private plant to supply electricity to his new house. Yes. See, he never sat quietly there. So he worked for some, thing like for his village as such. So whenever he have a job or a work to do or serve to his people or to village, he used to run or go to the capital and he get the things done, and there was any drinking water problem was solved by him. Okay, then the electricity problem was solved, and recently he also installed a private plant to supply electricity to his new house alone here. So all these things were happening in the life of Marcus Sibi when he was a minister for the first time, of culture in Umofia. So these things are happening, and these were the developments that we have seen here. Then further, he knew the source of his good fortune. He knew the source of his good fortune, unlike the little bird who ate and drank and went out to challenge his personal spirit. Marcus had christened to his new house Umofia Mansions. Listen, Umofia Mansions. And it is the name given to his house. Who? Marcus Sibi. A newly built palatial mansion it is. Umofia Mansion. He named his house Mansions. Then you see what happens in honor of his village, and he had slaughtered 5 bulls and countless goats to entertain the people on the day it was opened by the archbishop. And these were the things which took place after his reign as a politician in Umofia. So now it is the time for him to build a big house for him, because he has earned so much of money from his politics. And he has built a very big house which you cannot find or found in anywhere around Umofia. So such a big house it was. And to open his house, he called an archbishop to open his house. And to entertain his village people for this opening ceremony, he slaughtered 5 bulls and countless goats to entertain and to feed his people on that occasion of his house opening ceremony as such. And all things were gone in a fine way, better way on that day. So it was a pre-planned and a well-planned by Marcus Abbey there. So it is going to be a canvas or a campaign or a publicity for the next coming elections, as well as is a house opening ceremony here. So these are the ideas that the politicians even today they make. Isn't it? We are observing such things happening around us still today, isn't it? So in the name of people, service, they do such things. They would give us food and other things, liquors, money, and even clothes and other utensils which are domestically used by the people. The utensils used for the domestic purposes will be given and distributed to the people during such things. And it was an idea of Marcus Abbey here after the completion of building a big palatial building for himself, and he has to conduct the opening ceremony here. So also opening ceremony, and for which he invited an archbishop to open it, and then he arranged a big a feast for his people there, which was a non-veg food items were prepared and served to the people even along with the food. So he has served so many things like liquors, whatever alcohols they prefer or use in their place, so were served to the people, and this was how the Marcus Abbey maintained there. Then everyone was full of praise for him. Yes. See, this is the satisfaction of a rural man. When you give him a food, a belly full of food, he will be contented completely. He will be fully happy that nothing is needed hereafter. Once you give him a drink, wine or any other alcohols, and give him a food, then it's enough for him. It's enough for him. In the same manner, the people of Umubia felt very happy of the food or the meal that he has arranged in his program of house opening ceremony there. See, people, how they express their opinion about this. Everyone was full of praise for him. One old man said, "Our son is a good man. Our son is a good man. He is not like the mortar which as soon as food comes its way, turns its back on the ground." Yeah, listen. My dear students, the people, the village people, all what we call innocent, it is these people. What we call the innocent, uneducated, like that, are people who are not aware. It is these people. I am not saying that they are bad in this regard. They are innocent people who never knew how to betray the people. They never lead their life in that tradition or practice as such. They never ever want to hurt the feelings of others here. Such a people are they. So they ate and they came out of their place and they were giving so many good words, speaking about the Marcus Abbey here and about the event that he has planned here. So this is how the people started reacting to his feast here. See, they said, "Our son is a good man," because So many of their alcoholics there. They have consumed wine and other drinks served by the people there. And they praised him, that they talked about him and any people like anything here. And see, the people, they believe that he's our son, the man who belongs to our village, and he never betray, and he is a very good of our village, a very good man, good human being. And these were the things and understandings that the people of who move here had found. Okay, dear students, we will wind up the class. Okay, thank you.